Welcome to Plant Today with Amy Ray. Today I'm going to be showing you how my yard went from this, which did take a lot of work, to this after our pool plan and planting all my tropical plants back into the garden. So here's an overview or a on-top look before and after. And this took a lot of work, guys, I'm not going to lie. Um, we started out when we moved here with a pretty blank slate, other than the nature preserve behind our house. And so I knew that I wanted a tropical feel back there. So I started out by clearing the yard next to the fence and I started adding just plants. I would go to the clearance racks at Lowe's, find any kind of little tropical plant I could find on sale, and started planting in this area to eventually, over several months, eventually look like this. And it was my dream. I loved it. But we decided we wanted a pool. And so unfortunately, this whole area had to be ripped out, and we had to pot up most of all those plants. We had to get two trees removed, unfortunately, and this all led into our pool design. And so here were a couple of designs that we got, a couple quotes, and ultimately we decided to go with that bottom one, which looked like this. And if you'll see my pool now, it's actually very similar to that, which is awesome. And so we ripped all the plants out, potted them up, moved them to various parts of the yard, and then the pool work started. At this stage, I would say I was blissfully ignorant because I thought, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. They're staying pretty confined. Um, this looks great, but like I just wasn't anticipating the amount of damage that would happen later on. This is the side where we put all the pool equipment. So this is what the hole looked like after they dug and got everything kind of prepped. We had knocked down the fence in between us and the neighbor. So this is before they outlined where they were going to put the decking. And so to me, right now, this looked pretty great, a good size. And so it wasn't really until they started marking out the decking area that got a little panicked, um, just because it took me so long to get the yard and the plants how I wanted them. And so, the damage that occurs is just kind of astronomical. So this was kind of right after they had dug the hole and then put the rebar, and then things just kind of stayed at a standstill for months, it felt like. Um, then they came in and sprayed like the cement stuff, but then they let it sit. So we had rain, and then things started to just fall apart. So they had to come out a couple of times to drain this and fix the issues. Um, but eventually they got it situated. There was also this section right here that started sinking right next to the foundation of our house, or really our porch, and that made me super nervous. Um, they had taken off our gutter, and so all that water was just like pouring right here. And I was so super freaked out by this, but they assured us, like they came and filled it and assured us that the foundation to the porch was fine. Whatever. I hated this process so much. Finally, it was time for gunite. So this is really when you could start to see the pool coming together. They built the table and then, of course, plumbing. This is really when my heart kind of sank because I didn't realize how much would get dug up, but it was inevitable. I was just naive. So they plumbed all the way around, set up the pipes for the waterfall, And again, weeks went by, it felt like, in between these big projects, but it was all worth it in the end. Here is all the pool equipment that got delivered. I kind of sat there until they had places to put it. This is them starting the tile work. Next, it was time for rocks, and I must say this was a fun process to watch. They really puzzled these rocks together um, very professionally, and that was a really neat process. We had our little cutouts for where I asked them to leave cutouts for plants. So they had to kind of put rocks in specific places based on where I wanted the plants, and then they had to work the waterfall just right to have certain big rocks or flat rocks so the water would fall just right. So it was definitely a process. But meanwhile, these sunflowers sure looked good. I was still having fun with gardening over in the other sections of my yard. So next you can see that the table was all finished with tile and they started putting the stone around the edges. And this was really a pretty process as well. But
Mud
then we
snort.
had weeks go by, so the kids had lots of fun with the dirt and the rain, and we had lots of rain, so that kind of halted things. But the kids had a lot of fun. Then they came and removed that back tree, and this is where they were getting the stump out. And so then they were able to start the process for the decking. So they edged everything out, put the rebar, and this was helpful for me to see exactly where, all the drains were going to be for the cutouts and such. That was the pipe for the slide. And I think this is kind of when I was realizing, oh goodness, this is a lot of decking. And I panicked a little bit more here, but again, I mean, I just had to get over it because it is what it is at this point. Um, but all those plants against that back fence, a lot of them got destroyed during this process when they came in to do the gunite and the cement. I had like a tons of lamb's ear, just get cement all over them, had to be ripped out. Then they came in and sprayed the color, and this was really a great color choice, we think. It's really tropical and pretty. Things really started coming together here. So this is pretty much a finished product. They just had to come and get all the trash out. This was what I was left with for planting against that back fence, or the side fence and the back fence. A little less, I think, than I had anticipated, but here's our
Yeah.
first swim. It was freezing. We do have a pool heater, but I don't think we had it turned on at this
Bravery.
point. Um, so the kids were just dying to get in, so we let them do that, and it was super fun.
Bo, he won't push you in.
So then our very first family swim was New Year's. This was New Year's Eve of 21? No, that'd be, yeah, 2021.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! I hope you have a happy New Year. Who are we talking to?
Everybody.
Hello, everybody.
So next we started the process of really just planning what the garden would look like all around the pool. So I started by taking an overhead shot and I used Photoshop and just kind of cut and pasted some plants to see how they would look. And so this was the end result of me playing around, and this is what I wanted it to look like. And I think I did a pretty close job. So the first step was getting the yard resodded, and we decided to go with an emerald zoysia grass. I did a lot of research on this and felt like this was the way to go. So glad I did. It looked dead here, but eventually it greened up beautifully. Next, we got 2 Florida sable palm trees installed, and this was a really cool process to watch. So we decided to add this bamboo edging and rocks to the edge of each of the cutouts to give them kind of a tiki feel because my husband is doing a tiki bar under the porch, which is another video. So over the course of the next few months, I just kept adding plants. Most everything was stuff that I had from previously. All these elephant ears back on the side fence, added some cannas and more elephant ears. The grass is beautiful, as you can tell. And so over the course of time, I just played around with different things to kind of see what worked best in those areas. Cannas definitely have the biggest impact as far as color, and so I have lots of those. And the other thing that really works well are banana plants. I have a miniature red banana plant in one of those cutouts that works well. There's a banana plant in a pot in front of the slide there, and others strewn about. But I really have enjoyed playing around with different textures and colors, and so it's just a ever-changing process, honestly, to figure out what works well with our weather. Hibiscus mostly has to stay in pots unless it's hardy hibiscus, and then I have a few of those in the ground. Um, some of these things I don't have anymore because I may have lost them to our big freezes, but again, that's just something I've had to learn. That lime green sweet potato vine is a definite go-to because it fills out so quickly and really covers a lot of area and is so pretty. So a few of my big recommendations are going to be this curcuma ginger. It's beautiful. It comes back every year, as well as any type of colocasia that you can get your hands on. Um, I have enjoyed different hibiscus. I have a whole video on different types of hibiscus if you want to check that out. Big one is this Confederate rose, which is a type of hibiscus. It is beautiful and comes back every year. Angel trumpets, gotta have those. Vitex, also really hardy in our area. Banana plants, more colocasia, different varieties. Lantana, ugh, love this stuff. It gets huge. This is hibiscus again. Have some bougainvillea. It works really well, but you do have to take that in during the freeze. Lots of different colocasia here. Monstera, plumeria, both have to be taken in for freezes. I moved another Confederate rose here with banana plants, and as you can see, this last September, and it's gotten huge. This grass has been fantastic. Um, this is in September of 2024, and so it's starting to brown a little bit here. I think I needed to add some fertilizer, but overall, it keeps a gorgeous emerald color for
Really
most of the
good.
year, and it is soft like a blanket. I'm not even kidding. Like St. Augustine is so hard, but this stuff is so soft. You just want to roll around in it. So Zoysia, big proponent of Zoysia. Um, this was taken around October, and we've really enjoyed this rock pathway that we decided to do as well. So that way we don't have to get our feet wet when it's dewy in the morning and such. But I just really have enjoyed how everything turned out. It was a long process, but it really has been fun. So now we have a tropical getaway in our backyard, and we really love it. Please let me know if y'all have any questions about anything that we did, and I'll be sure to let you know. Y'all have a great day. Go plant today.